Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about how you only have a couple, maybe a few short months left to get as prepared as you possibly can. Because what I've mentioned in the past is going to come to pass. What the Federal Reserve is in is what I would call a catch-22, meaning that it doesn't matter which way they go. They cannot fix the problems which ail the system. And it is you who is going to pay the price. The Federal Reserve, i.e. the government, ladies and gentlemen, you will find out soon enough if you don't already know. They don't care about you. They don't care that you have to work twice as hard in order to afford the same things that you did a few years back. They don't care that you have to pay twice as much for food. They don't care that housing has gone up probably close to 100%, if not more in some areas. They don't care that when the balloon finally pops because of them, that you won't be able to afford housing or feed your family. So I tell you, would you rather be prepared now, before the fall, or try to start getting prepared after it's already started? Trust me, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do it now, because inflation, if they do what they're saying they're going to do, is going to go through the roof. But the good news is this: you have a little bit of time to prepare, so take advantage of it now. Now, later on, toward the end of the video, I am going to tell you about an awesome giveaway that Nutrient Survival, the very best in freeze-dried food, ladies and gentlemen, period, is going to be giving away some really nice prizes. But I'm going to tell you how you can enter. It's free, won't cost you a penny, toward the end of the video. So have you noticed how in the last few years inflation has pretty much run away? Even though we have a high Fed's fund rate. I believe that it's standing at about 5.25% or so, which is very high historically speaking. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with a high interest rate, we've been having high inflation. It hasn't really been able to tamper it down. And I've been telling you for the past several months, get ready for that next inflation rise, because it's going to spike and it's going to be worse than the last one. Well, when the Fed cuts rate in the environment that we're in now, it's going to accelerate that even faster. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to end up paying twice as much as what you're paying today, a year and a half from now, this is the time for you to start getting prepared and stock up on as many things as you need in order so that your standard of living is not interrupted that much with the prices that are coming down the line. Because if you think that the prices that we have now, the high prices that we have now, are going away, they're not going away ever, and they're only going to get worse, a lot worse than they did last time. The real reason why the Fed has waited so long to cut interest rates, it's really because they're in a catch-22. Here they explain that in 2022, there was considerable debate among alternative economists what the Fed Reserve was going to do in the face of rising stagflation. Now, rising stagflation means that when the economy is doing bad and at the same time we have high inflation. So we have people losing their jobs, we have businesses going out of business, we have people not being able to make enough money to keep up with inflation, and at the same time we have really high inflation. That's kind of like what stagflation is in a nutshell. There were people that would argue that the Fed would capitulate to stock market demands, meaning that they would give in to stock market demands. So if the stock market wasn't doing very good, they would go ahead and drop rates, etc., etc. What they've done historically speaking, I would say, that they would stop raising interest rates and return to quantitative easing, i.e., we mostly know it as printing money out of thin air. These analysts operated on the assumption that the central banks want to save the U.S. economy from substantial deflationary crisis, and that they will happily print money forever in order to delay such an event. I don't agree that any government or any central bank should be printing money out of thin air, period, even if it is to save a system. Look at where it's gotten us. In 2008 is when they really started doing this quantitative easing, and look at where we are now, ladies and gentlemen. So what happens next? The Fed continues to hike rates well into next year and will not reverse course or capitulate and return to stimulus. This is what they're thinking will happen. I personally think that if things get bad enough going into the new year or into the holiday seasons, that the Fed will finally break and start bringing interest rates down, but I can be 100% wrong. The people that said the Fed would never remove support from the stock market were wrong. This process is ongoing and the effects will grow as the months pass. But those that were hoping for a manic return to the days of bailouts and QE are going to be deeply disappointed, meaning that whoever is writing this op-ed is saying that, hey, the Federal Reserve may not be going to raise rates as fast. Why is that? Because the Fed is not there for the people. The Fed is there to lick the boots of those that are globalist, i.e. the BIS, the IMF, etc., etc. This prediction proved correct. I noted at the time that the Federal Reserve is not following its own program. It's following a global program coordinated by the IMF and BIS. In order to understand why the Fed does the things it does, one must accept that they don't care about the current world order. They care about facilitating the new world order. And why is that? Because for them, it's not about money. For them, it's not about you putting food on the table. For them, it's about control. Total control, ladies and gentlemen. I believe there is no way out of this situation, and the central banks deliberately maneuvered the U.S. into this predicament. I have to say that I agree with that as well. The only thing left for them to do is pull the plug when the timing is most advantageous. This is going to happen one way or another, and they're going to make it happen when it is most advantageous to them and to their masters. One thing the events of this month prove is that the system is so unstable that even a hint of change in the status quo could mean disaster. Don't assume that the banks will keep trying to kick the can down the road. They're operating on a timeline that serves the interest of the global establishment, not the American people. Our economy is on a decades-long path to total collapse, and no election can completely stop what is coming. I agree with that 100%. No matter who sits behind the Resolute desk, there is going to be a pop. The balloon is going to pop, ladies and gentlemen. The question is, are you going to be ready? Why do you think that so many central banks and countries and even very wealthy people are now getting into gold? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because the administration that we have in place has screwed things up so bad and is planning on further screwing things up so bad that there's no other way out except to protect yourself. You see, when I see other central banks and I see other countries and I see people, getting gold, and gold being sold so much, like over the last 50 years, in the last 4 years, gold has beaten all the records. Same thing with silver. Why is that? Because people are scared. They're scared of what the system has to bring. They don't know what's going to happen. So what do? They go to that one thing that has always been able to preserve wealth, and that is precious metals, real money, sovereign money, God's money, etc. Harris unveiled her cunning plan, including a 28% corporate tax. Let's take this one at a time. 28% corporate tax. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? Well, most people have been indoctrinated to think, oh yeah, let's tax those greedy corporations that make your toothpaste, that package your meat, that do this, and that, etc. Let's tax them 28% on their earnings. That's a great idea. They're taxing you 28%, because these companies that make all of the things that we need in order to live the standard of living that we live now, those companies are just going to take that tax increase and put it on you, the consumer. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime in history that price controls have actually been implemented, they haven't worked. And those people that tell you that, yes, they worked, are people that like socialism/communism. Why? Take a look back in the 70s when they did price controls here in the United States of America. It seemed that it was working at first. Why? Because in the first few days or month, right, it works great. But wait until the people cannot get what they need because there's a shortage. You know what this 44.6% capital gains tax is going to do? It's going to drive away innovation. It's going to drive away investment to greener pastures. And last but not least, I don't know how in the world this tax would work, because I believe it's 100% unconstitutional. Tax on unrealized gains. Let me tell you exactly how that works, just in case you're not familiar with it. Let's say that I invest $10,000 on Tesla, okay? And I have $10,000 worth of Tesla stock. And Tesla goes to the moon, and my $10,000 that I have invested with a brokerage account on Tesla, let's say it grows to $100,000. Beautiful. I'm doing great, right? Not really, because those monies that I've gained, they're unrealized. I haven't taken them out of the market. They're still there. Tomorrow, the market might crash, and value my investment at half or 25% less, or whatever it may be for market conditions. So the government wants to tax you on money that you haven't even taken out of the bank, let's say. And they want to do that every year on whatever unrealized gains you have. And for the first time in history, a gold bar is over $1 million, and that's a 400-ounce gold bar. I believe that's the standard bar that governments use or central banks use to keep in their vaults. It's like 400 ounces. So it says here it's worth over $1 million. No wonder so many central banks and investors are piling up to the yellow metal. Now, one thing that I can tell you is this. If central banks and investors that are high net worth investors and countries are actually buying gold in quantity, why do you think that is? Do your own research and then decide for yourself whether you want to protect whatever little bit of wealth you have into something that's going to carry that purchasing power into the new paradigm. Because that's what we're entering into. We are entering into a new paradigm, and those that don't prepare now, in every way possible, are going to get left behind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about this real quick, because there are some free prizes to be given away, and I believe it's going to be towards the end of this week or something. Hopefully we'll get there in time. So Nutrient Survival is giving away 6 of my old, where are they? 6 of my old Beat ESG cups, all right? They had about 6 of these, you know, still hanging out in their shop, and they're like, you know what, before they break because we dropped them, let's give these away. But that's not it. They're also giving away 3 other awesome prizes. Let me show you what they are. The first thing is going to be this basics bucket that has everything you see here. It looks like we have some tomato powder, we have some powdered vitamin mashed potatoes, we have some milk, we have some eggs, we have some butter. They're also going to be giving away this Grab and Go Power Pack Triple Play, which brings everything that you see here. Again, just go to the link on the description of my video and you can see all of this stuff. And they're giving away one other awesome item that I will keep to myself until the day of the giveaway. All you have to do to enter, ladies and gentlemen, is be part of my email list. I don't abuse my email list, so don't be worried that you're going to get 50 emails from me every day. That will never happen. And once we get, I think it's about 200 more people to sign up to my email list. So you have to sign up. It's free. And like I said, I won't abuse that list by sending you 100 emails every day. It will never happen. I haven't even sent one email out yet. For this contest, we will send one email out to let you all know that the contest is over and that the people or the winners have been chosen. And also, ladies and gentlemen, once we get a couple hundred more people signed up on the email list, Nutrient Survival is going to give the AP community the biggest discount code it has ever given any content creator or any YouTuber. So those of you that are going to be in the market for Nutrient Survival will be able to use the biggest discount code that they've ever approved. All right, so go ahead and sign up. If you are in the market for Nutrient Survival, wait until we get that discount code, but I'm counting on all of you to sign up for the email list so that we can do that. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and sign out now. God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for all of your support. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.